Hello and welcome to episode 139 of Wing Sauce. A little different today. We have Carley Johnston on and Connor and myself. How's everyone doing today?
Good. Sunday. Big football game coming up, guys.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to get into that for sure. And I was going to label this one, this is a bad joke, but Coffee with Carley. Is that fair to call this one? I don't have coffee, and I don't know if you've trademarked. There it is. Okay, so Carley's the only one with coffee, but I don't know if you've trademarked
naturally. Always trying to caffeinate.
Nice. Actually, I wanted to ask on those too. We can just. I wanted to. Did you come up with that idea? And how does that? Do you just like ask players like, "Hey, I want to." I don't know how does that happen, because I've seen a couple of the videos. They're awesome, but
yeah, it started with it was my first year, my second year. My second year. I wanted to do like player profile pieces because, like, I go in the locker room and I get to know the guys and their personalities, but fans don't really see it as much as I do. But the first person I had on was Evgeny Svechnikov. He is so funny, such a nice guy, such a big personality. I was like, I want people to see this. Mm-hmm. So we did it, and then it kind of took off from there because like he was fantastic. I mean, this was when he was rehabbing from his ACL injury, so he had all the time in the world. I could tell he was like a little bored. I think we shot for like 3 hours, and then we were just like shooting the. I don't want to swear on this, but shooting the SHIT.
You can.
And, taking breaks, taking time, chatting. And then he even came up to the offices with me after. Like it started off so hot that it was something that I wanted to continue. Yeah. And then we got the sponsor of Tim Hortons. So yeah, we're rolling. I hopefully gonna be shooting one next week. I don't know with who, but they're really fun to do and get to know the players and be able to be like that middleman between fans and the players and really showcase their personalities. I feel like hockey as a sport, like they don't really, hockey players don't really like to, well, I mean, there are a select few that do, but like show their personalities as much as like other sports. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of why I wanted to focus on like player profile with off of the ice.
Well, it's like fans will go to the game and it's different. Where basketball, like you're there, you see, like hockey's like you're almost in a bubble where you see the guys and they're like almost completely separated. And like just playing myself, like I don't know you even like there's anybody in the stands watching. Most of the guys don't even realize it. Obviously they realize it, but they don't care. So it's kind of cool to see behind the scenes. But I was going to ask, do you have a favorite episode that you've done, or are they all like, oh, they're all my babies, so I can't choose one? They're favorite in different ways, you have to say.
They're favorite in different ways, but one that like was so fun there were a couple that were really fun to do, and the couple that I'm referencing are both Luke Witkowski Coffee with Carley's, because we did things during his we went ice fishing, and then we went boat, or like regular fishing, whatever you want to call it.
Of course.
Surprise. Yeah, but it was so fun to like do something that we had such a great time. It was just like a cool, I felt like I was like hanging out for work. Like it just didn't feel like work. I was like,
I'm getting paid for this one.
Yeah, right. The ice fishing though, oh my gosh. We were out there, it was freezing. We were out there for so long in his
shanty.
Yes, thank you. And just bobbing. Talking, and then I'm like running out of questions. We were out there for so long because he's like, we are not getting skunked. Like, I'm not letting you come ice fishing. That's embarrassing. So I'm like, okay, I'm bobbing. I finally get one after. I think we were out there for 3 hours.
Are you kidding me?
And the little shanty, there are 3 of us. There's Witter and I, and then there's my videographer Michael, all in the shanty. Like,
it's really funny because just knowing you, like you're in the perfect job because you talk, which is a great thing. But I like to fish and with my friends and stuff, and there's maybe 15 words that we'll say in like a 2-hour span fishing. Is it you're probably talking the whole time? He's like, what is going? We don't do this fishing.
I don't even know what I was talking about after. Like I don't think we ever turned the cameras off, but after a while I was like, I don't have anything. You want to start asking me questions? Like
Coffee with Luke.
But I finally got one, and then I like screamed. I was so excited. I was like screaming, and he's like, "No wonder we're not catching anything. You're loud as hell." Like
you didn't know that.
We got a few after that, but for the longest time, I was like, "Dude, I don't think we're gonna catch anything." I'm hungry. I'm
sure,
cold.
bite.
Can't feel my toes. Like this is starting to push me to the extreme that I don't want to go to.
Yeah.
That's my front hand.
She made a comment. She also wanted to know what's your favorite part of the games.
Ooh, and that's a good question. My favorite part of the game.
Asking the questions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My favorite part of the games is when we win and I get to do the post game questions. That actually is, yes. That is my favorite part because I like, they're coming off of a win. They're still
They're
like
pumped.
dripping sweat. They're huffing and puffing. I feel like I'm really in it at that moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the pizza toss.
No.
Like,
Close second. My friend
says
Anna, I
no.
was talking. She went to the game on Friday. She and her boyfriend Luis came to support me, but also
Awesome.
watch hockey. But she was like baffled that there aren't actually pizzas in the pizza boxes. I told her that. She was like, "Wait, they're empty?"
Could you imagine just chucking pizzas at people?
That's what she was like. I guess that would make sense. Like someone bumped it and the whole pizza would just fall out. Like I guess it makes sense to not.
I don't know. I think that might be better though. Hot pizzas flying through the air. I mean,
yeah, right.
Yeah, the content. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The viewers are going to go through the roof. I'm actually going to the game on this Saturday, so I think that's the 14th. So I'll tell you,
Connor,
I'll let you know the
75 northbound is closed.
Okay, I won't be going 75 northbound because I'll be coming 94 from the west side of the state. But I appreciate the heads up.
5 northbound is closed.
Yeah, from my house all the way up past LCA. At least there's like signs saying 75 northbound's closed from the 13th to the 16th.
I don't think but you're south.
No, but I'm saying from Monroe all the way up to LCA.
That's what I'm saying.
saying
other way.
Oh.
We don't care about that way. We only care about the
southbound.
No, we care about north of LCA, south or north, but it has to be north of LCA.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Connor.
You're welcome.
I was like,
you're like, wait, 75 goes below LCA. Who lives there?
No,
75 goes anywhere
to go.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure 75 goes to Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
It does. I've traveled that road many times.
That sounds horrible. I'm not driving to Florida ever.
Yeah.
I feel like those are core memories. Family trips driving down to Florida, but
yeah,
I'm good right now.
It was rough. And did follow up with that question she was baffled. I would be so upset catching an empty box. But there's like the free pizza like ticket inside the box, right? There's like a piece of paper. So.
Well, because then if we put pizza in it, it would be cold by the time.
Yeah, I want a hot pizza.
It, right? Yeah.
The problem is you have to get out of your seat, go get the pizza, then you have to come
back. Yeah, I get both ends of the argument.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch the game, Carly.
Blown.
Well, as long as I get a free pizza, I mean, the pizza is it's like you get the slice for $17. It's like going to movie theater. Any of these places now.
Oh yeah,
bargain priced.
Yeah, yeah. But so you were talking. I forget who you just mentioned that was coming back from injury, but. Anyway, you're kind of how are you feeling? How's the knee, the whole leg? I feel like you're moving around. I just saw you the other day at a game too, or a couple weeks ago. It seems like you're moving.
Wait.
Right.
After this question, Anne's got another question for you.
Okay, I'm not done for this.
Riveting core memory. Oh my gosh.
She's killing it with the questions though. Thank you, Anne.
I know.
This is like the inside.
I was just talking to her and I told her I was coming on. She's like, "How do I watch it?" And I was like, "It's Wing Sauce. Go on Facebook." And she found it.
Yeah, she certainly did. I feel like she's asking. You know that movie, the Pixar movie, where it's like Inside Out.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
my niece loves that movie.
Actually, I like that movie too.
It's a great movie.
It is.
So, like, what's your memory that
Bad
like?
Girl.
Yes.
Yep.
His favorite person in that entire movie.
Yeah.
Core memory. A Red Wings memory. Oh my gosh, I feel like I have so many.
You can name two if you got two.
I feel like I just named a couple with Coffee with Carly, but okay.
Yeah.
First game.
I was about to say.
Nervous.
Yeah.
So nervous. Like I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like there's so many people in the stands. Like I have to talk on a microphone. Everyone's looking at me. Like that's intense. What other core memory? Oh, another core memory would be the sit-down interview I did with Henrik Zetterberg when he announced his retirement.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty epic.
That would be cool. Those are two different ones.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just because that'd be I can imagine that would be awesome.
He was so cool though. It just seemed like it was any other day. We sat down. Hey Carly. Hey Z.
Yeah,
And
beard's looking good.
All right, are you ready? It was just kind of a conversation.
That's awesome. I'm going to ask it the hard-hitting questions, which this really isn't a hard-hitting question. This is a question that I'm curious about whenever people do, like what you were talking about, first game, you're holding the microphone, then you start talking. Do you hear yourself talking? Like, is it slightly delayed, and do you have to just like tune that out? I don't know, or is it just live where you don't have to? I feel like I would talk over my words so much because I'm hearing somebody talk like a half second behind me saying the exact same thing. And it's you.
Yeah. So that's a really good question. So at Comerica Park, there's
God.
Comerica Park gets me sometimes, like when I'm talking on the microphone. That was actually where we had our auditions for this job, was at Comerica Park, because they were like, if you can't talk on a microphone and hear yourself play back a couple seconds later, like, that's obviously an issue. This is very unlucky, but for this situation, lucky for me. So I'm deaf in my right ear. So I'll have my IFB, like my headpiece. I'll have it in my good ear, obviously. So I kind of like am not hearing as well. And then sometimes you're usually just in the moment and like, it's, you don't really think twice about what you're saying, but like anything else, you're just kind of focusing on what you're saying at the moment. And then I hear myself in real time in my ear. Like I hear myself talking, but there's no delay. So that makes it easy. But yeah, everything at Little Caesars Arena is so state of the art, brand new, top tier that like there's no delay. I don't notice a delay at all. Like even if I take my headpiece out, like I had to take it out last game during an interview, and it was fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I don't think they're like, 'cause I've been at quite a few games and I don't really notice a delay. Like, because even watching you talk, like you don't really. That is a good point.
That's a really good question, Connor.
That was a good question.
That was a really good question.
He's got good ones every once in a while.
Yeah, I can pull them out. I keep them in the back pocket. Next time you come on, I'll have another good one too.
Okay, good.
So you guys want to jump into a little hockey? Speaking of Carly's, knee injury, Robbie Fabry's coming back off a knee injury. Looked good against the Panthers, in my opinion. You sat down and talked with him, didn't you, before the season?
Yeah. So yeah, and I just spoke with him in the locker room about how he's feeling. He's like, I feel great. Like he's been itching to get back. Yeah, it just happened in March. Like my injury happened 2 Marches ago, and I'm still rehabbing from it. I'm still having a hard time getting up and down the stairs. Like, good Lord. Yeah. And so he's like, I feel great. Like he thought he was gonna feel sore after his first game back. He's like, I feel better than I would have anticipated. So he's feeling really good. He's laying on heavy hits.
Oh yeah. That reverse that he had.
So happy for him. Like I'm really rooting for him. He's a fantastic guy. Like I've always really liked Robbie as a player and off the ice too. But like now just seeing like the obstacles he's gone through and what he's overcome and like the defeat he's had to go through and then just coming out stronger. And like mentality to really focus on yourself and get better. But then also like that is something that like and I'm not a professional athlete. So like I can only speak to a sliver of what he's gone through. It's not even like the pain, the physical pain that sucks when you get an injury like that. It's like the rehabbing and like I can't get up and like go grab myself a cup of water and stuff. But like that on top of him not being able to play his passion and his like that's his career is to be able to be in tip top shape and play at a fast pace on ice skates. Like every time I see him in the corner or I see him, he was on his knees making a pass and I was like, oh my God, like you are stressing me out. But he made a hard stop and I was like it makes me nervous, but he is out there like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say he's had 2 knee injuries. So I feel like three.
Yeah, ACLs, yeah.
I feel like almost more so. I haven't had an ACL. I've had meniscus, which is nowhere near as bad. But I feel like, you do it one time, the road. I feel like next time it happens, it's such a mentally draining thing because you have to, like, could you imagine what you went through and then coming back and having to do all of that over again for like what you did, for another year. It's just draining. So like to just be mentally strong. And I think there was I only saw the trailer of it. It was a couple minutes, but it was at 6:00. Was it on NHL Network or?
Yeah, he said they're releasing more. I asked him about it. Like he was, because he's not a social media guy. Like it took forever. Like I think he just got an Instagram like a year or two ago. And so I was like, Robbie, that like I cried which is so ridiculous. But I just like, I know like the defeat and like the just like, why am I not getting better? Why do I have to keep getting surgeries? Like, why is this nonstop?
Right.
But also like I said, knowing a quarter of what he's gone through, because I'm not a professional athlete. But he was like, yeah, I feel like this time around it was just kind of different. Like I wanted to tell a story, but he's like, that's not like me. I wasn't like, he's like, I felt weird putting it out. And I'm like, oh God, no. I was like, that really like moved me. Like,
it moves the fans, right? They kind of feel like connected with you at that point. Like you're human too. Like you're struggling. Like it's not just like, oh, I go to the rink every day and everything's peachy keen. There's struggles being an athlete.
Yeah, people are like, oh, it comes with the job, or oh, you're still making a lot of money. It doesn't matter. Like that, your mental health isn't doing well as well as your physical health. Like you can't put a price tag on that. But he's in really high spirits, and I remember Coach Blashill would always say, I can't remember who he was talking about when I asked him, but I think it was maybe it was Bertuzzi, but it was when someone was coming back from an injury, and it was like, how do these players go through a big injury and then come back and play like at the same level they were playing at? And Coach Blashill said, he said, you have to, because if you play guarded, you're going to get injured again. Like, it's just like, you have to play. Obviously you don't rush an injury and the return of an injury. Like you got to make sure you're 100%. But when you return to gameplay, like you can't play guarded, or else that's when like bad things happen.
Yeah, and we don't have to go into this as well, but I'm sure everybody saw the DeMar Hamlin, in the NFL, right? And I think part of that, so not even talking about the injury itself, but the other half, they were, figuring out if they're going to continue that game, and everybody, and like literally every single person was like, you shouldn't. And the athletes brought up a good point too, that I was listening to some podcast, and they were talking about how, you could have maybe not the same injury, but there could be so many more injuries that would happen if they do continue playing that game, because all these, they're not mentally in the game. They're kind of playing guarded. They're playing scared. So it's just dangerous to go back out there and not be at 100%, because there are guys that are bigger and stronger and faster and maybe aren't taking anything off. And if you're playing scared, then things can get out of hand. So definitely see that.
For sure. But I'm really happy. I was so stoked when he met his first goal in that return. The second came back.
Yeah,
huge. I was just playing all over the ice. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, that reverse hit was nasty though. I think that was
the second one really got me. I was like,
he came to play.
Nice. Yeah, he was ready.
Yeah.
He'd been thinking about this game since he got hurt last March. Like he was ready.
Oh man, yeah, I'm sure there's money on the board in the locker room and everything like that. I'm sure when the guy comes back, and the guys have to be excited. So that's always exciting. But there was a couple announcements. I don't know, Dustin, where you wanted to take this, but I thought it was cool this past week where the All-Stars were announced. We got Larkin. I don't know if you've had any conversation with the team or anybody since then. It was super recent, only a couple of days ago. But I'm not sure if you've had a chance to talk to him or anybody about that, or if we're gonna I guess any push. I heard Larkin talking about, hey, continue voting for our other guys out there. So
he said he already started voting. He didn't tell us who, but a couple names he mentioned. He was like, Husso's been playing great. I mean, it's so fun for these guys to go to All-Star weekend, and I know he knows people and guys across the league, and he's excited to go play with them. But I think he wants some of his teammates to come.
He wants his boys, right? One of his boys to come with him.
He wants some winged wheel support with him. But I'd love to see someone like Kubalik would be really fun.
I'd love to see Kubalik. He's been killing Kubalik.
Husso too. But then in the same breath, it's all fun, but then these poor guys need a break.
I know.
Yes.
I know. That's where my head goes.
It's a pleasure for them to represent their team, and it's an awesome event and weekend, but
But then you see some of the guys on their, sharing pictures on Instagram or whatever, and they're in Cabo or whatever. I'm like, That looks pretty fun. I don't know.
Not gonna lie though, like they're gonna be basically in Fort Lauderdale. It's in Sunrise, but
they should be doing okay.
Could be worse. Yeah.
I mean, that's funny you bring that up, Carly, because when Ovi got elected to the All-Star game, I messaged the boys and I was like, "You think Ovi's gonna sit out this year like usual, or is he actually gonna go?" Just because he's been known to sit out. He's not an All-Star guy. He likes his time off. So,
which I get, you're in the thick of the season, you're exhausted, like your schedule's been crazy, your body's taking a beating. I get it. I get both ends of it, but it's fun for us fans,
Oh, 100%.
We'll see if he partakes in the fastest skater a challenge. So
I've been liking how they, last year they kind of integrated some like new different skills challenges as opposed to like your standard stuff, kind of getting more like along lines with kids getting involved and stuff of that nature. I kind of like seeing that.
It was fun last year.
Yeah, it was. Vegas was, I mean, it's kind of hard to mess up having it in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really top that. Well,
no. We'll see. But I mean, I agree though. I think Vegas is like a key spot for stuff like that.
For sure.
Great visuals. Great the over the water Caesar's Palace. I think
that was
there.
Cool.
That was so. They've been one of the more progressive leagues when it comes to the 4 major sporting events of doing All-Star games. The other ones are just garbage. Baseball's they're trying a little bit. Basketball.
NFL's trash.
NFL. I mean the the Pro Bowl is.
Yeah.
I hate the NFL Pro Bowl. That's the worst. Well, it might be the worst out of the 4.
They're not playing.
No, they're playing like 2-hand touch. Like at this point, just let them wear flags and play flag.
Yeah, I mean, you may as well. I get the whole like injury thing, and because exactly what we were talking about, just a few minutes ago. Like some of the guys are probably like, I want to play 100%.
Exactly.
First Pro Bowl, like I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna hit this guy, I'm gonna tackle him, I'm gonna lay a hard hit on him. Other guys aren't playing at 100%. It's like there's such like a divide.
Disparity,
Oh my God, this guy like goes up for a catch and comes and totally gets laid out. Like it's just not. It's not the same.
It's in Hawaii though, right? I think that's where it's at. So
usually,
yeah.
So
whereabouts is that? Like on the Big Island?
I don't know.
I've never been to Hawaii.
I also have not.
Have you?
Nice. You guys should go.
I was gonna say you've gone at least once, right? A couple times.
Yeah, but like I went to different islands each time.
Which is your favorite?
It depends. Like what terms, like views or like restaurants, because they're all so different.
Probably views.
Kauai is really cool. I think that's where they filmed Jurassic Park. Kauai is very lush and green, but it's like a little rainy. There aren't a lot of restaurants. Like you don't really get like the shops that you do in Maui. The Big Island is cool too because each like side of the island is so different. Like one side's really lush and green and one side's like volcanic rocks and stuff like that. But I recommend.
My mom was just showing me pictures when they were there.
Our parents just went together.
Yeah, they were there. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
60th birthdays.
It was.
And they didn't invite you guys?
No, we didn't make that. We were just like 30 years short of the age cutoff.
Yeah. The family kids have not been invited to many things lately.
Like, you know what? We're going to Hawaii. You guys stay here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Can you watch my dog?
Right.
Can you watch And Carly's like, yeah, I suppose.
Oh man. So the Wings, they've got some guys back. We talked about Fabry. We got Zadina. We got we've been talking the past couple. I don't know how many weeks have we been talking about? Basically since Bertuzzi's been out.
God,
and every week I feel like there's been another one added to the list. Now I feel like we're finally getting a couple guys back.
Yeah.
We touched on it a while ago when it was first happening, where the Wings, when they're fully healthy, can play with anybody, and I still think they can. We've been seeing it. Obviously, they're on a little bit of a skid right now, but they're not. I don't think they're there yet. Maybe a year or two away from like being able to handle a couple injuries is still winning games. They need their depth, and I feel like it's coming back. Hopefully, at the right time. It was a little tough before. How do you see any shaking up with the lineups? I feel like Lon actually talked in an interview recently, like, hey, we got a really good team right now, but we're excited to get some of those depth guys back. And I don't know how it's going to shake out, but what's your thoughts on that lineup? Do you think anything's going to shake up with the top 2 lines really?
I think so. Lalone was talking about specifically Fabry when we were asking about him, and he said, we want to ease him in. We're not going to like throw him into the fire and give him top line minutes. I think there are certain things they take into consideration when guys come back from injury, and that is like minutes out on the ice. I guess kind of depends when in terms of like upper body or lower body injuries.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's tough to say because when Bertuzzi came back from his last injury, he wasn't out there as much as typically would be, which was like what I just said about the
easing back into it,
speaking to like easing them back into it, and poor guy wasn't able to like really ease back into it until he got another injury. I feel bad for him. It's been a lot for him. But yeah, I don't know. I think everything's so fluid. It's like I can't even give you like an answer or like my opinion because it's game to game, things are changing. But there was a streak where we were playing really well, and Lalone said, it's tough, like, because how do you mess with something that's working? But then we have the luxury of getting some top 6 players back, forwards back, and so I just feel like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the lineups will look different, but to what you said, Connor, I feel like we pretty much are at the place where we, as an organization, where we have that depth. Where beginning of the season, like when we were playing pretty well, we had like, oh my God, like 7 guys out. Like, I mean, it was just constant. Like I would do pregame, I would do something called road to recovery. Where I would go down the list of the guys that we have like on the IR or when they're coming back or whatever.
Yep.
We got full screen.
Yep.
It was like at a point where I was like just ripping through the names because I was doing it. I had to hit a cutoff before the guys took the ice from the warm up. And there were a couple times they were like, Carley, wrap it. I'm like, I'm still going through the names.
Like, I can't change injury.
Right. The guys are trying to take the ice and I'm still talking about the injured guys. But and I thought like we were playing really well at the beginning of the season. So I feel like it's just kind of the rhythm of the season where there are ups and there are downs. Like it's a roller coaster of trying to find like consistency. Unfortunately, right now we're, like you said, on a skid where, we're playing good hockey, but I don't even know if it is like that we have a couple great forwards out. I think it's just that we're playing really well, but I don't know, other teams playing better than us, or we're getting
we're not getting the bounces for sure. And I feel the
penalty kill obviously needs some help. There's no question about that. But like 5-on-5 has been really good. But like like Bobrovsky the other night was just standing
on his head,
robbing us. So I feel like it's great that we have players like Bertuzzi and Zadina returning to the lineup, and now that we have Fabry back to an extent, like we just got off a back-to-back and he only played in one of those games because back to Lalone saying that he's easing the players back into gameplay. But I'm still answering your question. I feel like I'm just like
no, it's a tough
answer.
I told you when we started I'm going to be hitting you with the hard-hitting questions, and
that's a tough one.
No, it is tough, and but I think it makes it a little bit easier for like management to, like, because of this, I'll call it like a little bit of a skid, even though they're playing well against Florida, even though I think before this 3-game stretch they were like 4-1 or even like maybe 3-1 or something, where they were playing really well. And I think it started with that comeback with against Pittsburgh, which was unbelievable. But it maybe will make it a little easier for them to have the flexibility to basically do whatever they want. Like, hey, we have some guys coming back. We lost the past 3 or whatever it may be at that point. Let's change the lineup and see how it goes. But I could also see him just see where it plays out, because it has been such a roller coaster ride. They've been keeping it similar, and they've been winning, they've been losing. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, go ahead, Carley.
No, you go ahead, Dustin.
I was gonna say, to Connor's point, it's nice that we can have a conversation about depth and having players that are actually stepping up, those younger players stepping up and taking those roles, compared to years past when we had to go into our depth and it just didn't look very pretty.
So a lot of our young players, like that, they're reliable right now, like Berggren, Milano, Soderblom when he's in, like he's been playing pretty well. Like it's a good problem to have when you're wondering who would be taken out of the lineup. Like when Fabry was returning, we were all like questioning, we're like, who's going to be scratched? Because like this team's been playing well. Like things are looking good. Like then you kind of have to put the lineups back in the blender and yeah.
It's nice having those intermingling parts though, right? Where you can kind of put someone on the first line or put someone on the second line, you know, and it's not like you feel like you're making one line worse. It's kind of having those multiple pieces where we can move them around, which is beneficial.
Yeah, like a lot of our players, like Bergman, for instance, you know, he was playing with Vlano and Soderblom, but then he was playing on the top line. But then, like, he can fit. Like, I don't know, he's playing really well.
Yeah,
I'm a big Bergie fan, but I feel like we have a lot of those players this year where it's like no matter where they play, they're
Swiss Army knives.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they can go all up and down the lineup. Yeah, Bergie looks like an NHL player, which is great to see. Obviously, he's playing here this year, so he is, but he looks like somebody that isn't a flash in the pan or anything, but like he's living up to. There's such high expectations for him and Soderblom and Edvinsson whenever he comes up, and hopefully it seems like he's doing well. And like throughout training camp and everything, he still looked good. So hopefully he's able to come up here shortly and I don't know, next year, whatever the plan is, but he looks like he will be a long-time NHL player. So it's not a shortage of prospects. I don't think. I think it's just time and development. So it's always a good sign compared to where we were at like 3-4 years ago. That was pretty rough.
Depth, not just on the team, but like in the organization is something that I think has changed a lot over the past.
The prospect pool is amazing.
Yeah. I know. So it's really good to see. And like to Berggren, like, you know, sometimes there's a learning curve when you come into the big league. Like, you know, I can't imagine going from one league to the next and coming into the NHL and seeing these big burly men come barreling at you. But it was such a smooth transition for him. I don't think there was ever like a learning curve. Like he's been consistent, but Coach Malone is like, I want there to be consistency. Like he's played really well, yes, and he's been consistent in his gameplay, but like we need to see more consistent. Like we need to continue being that consistent.
Well, it's been a short sample size so far, so I think it's fair that's a fair ask to be like, yeah, you've been doing well, but like overall in your career, you're going to look back like this short, however many games, 30-ish games? Is that how many? I don't know.
30, I think we're 30 something.
30, yeah, somewhere mid-ish.
38.
Probably something I should know. It's 38.
38, I think. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which is
almost halfway through the season.
Yeah, it's almost halfway through. Yep.
Wild.
It's crazy.
But yeah, you just need to keep that going because that's overall that's pretty small.
On the Berggren point, I feel like the SHL is proven to be a quality league, a feeder league into the NHL. A lot of players have been coming out of the SHL that have made a quick impact into the NHL.
Yeah, well, I feel like not the only guy, but in recent memory, the only guy that I've really seen come into the league and not be fazed by it, or not even need like a game. I felt like Mo Seider came in last year and was like, I'm just going to play my game and whatever. Like if it happens, it happens. It just seems like he's so laid back.
It was so good.
I mean, he was playing with men in Germany though. Like it was a men's league.
Right.
So it was like pretty much, you know, a smooth transition for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild to think about how young he is because he doesn't seem he doesn't seem that way. He's very calm, like he's just a great player.
Does he have his show?
Player, in my opinion.
Yes, 100%. He is. Even more so for a defenseman. I think there's a ton of people talking about it last year that forwards can come in the league and have a quick impact because you see him on the score sheet and like they don't have to. The defensive zone breakdowns maybe aren't as prominent. You don't even notice them where coaches maybe do and players do and GMs do. But as fans, you don't. Like if Raymond had a mistake in the defensive zone, it probably doesn't turn up as a goal or you really even notice it. Where if Seider does, we're all like, what the hell happened here? But he doesn't really do that. So that's good to see. I had another question on Seider. So does he still do his and I haven't seen it in a little bit, like the show that he does? Because him and I like
yeah. I was actually just asking them about that. I was like, what is their, you know, are you guys
what's the plan?
Again? They're like, I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see. There's really it's not yes, they're doing it or no, they're not. It's just really a question mark right now.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah. I like the creative flexibility.
They do a great job. All the guys in the locker room have such a great personality, but it's so fun to see like the younger guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's the nice part about you. Go ahead, Connor.
Well, I was just on that note, like who's the guy that maybe fans don't know in the locker room that like, like obviously Larkin's a leader. You have the rookies that are just like Raymond and Seider. They just always seem fun together and they kind of bring that energy. But who's the guy that maybe people don't know, like all the guys love him, kind of like a Gagne before, where everybody's like, everybody loves Gags, but people knew that. Is there any undercover person that maybe people don't know?
I don't know if this is undercover, but DP Braun, big talker, like Sonny kept joking. He was like, Braun just never stops talking. And I'm like, oh my God, that's why he and I get along so well. We have that in common. But leader, just celebrated 1,000 games this season. But yeah, fun guy. Like people in the locker room love him. But Magnus Hellberg, big personality.
Really?
Big too, yeah. Kind of like Valley. Like I don't know, that's a weird word to use to describe someone, but he's always like, hey, how's it going? Like always making a joke. He's like really like he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. But there's not a single person in the locker room that would be like, yeah, he doesn't have much of a personality. Like they're all so like you can just feel in the locker room. Like it's
fun.
The temperature is so good. Yeah, the energy, like the practices, like they're having so much fun. I mean, obviously they're getting work done, but like you can tell after they run a hard drill, like they'll do scrimmages. And after that, like Lalone will have like a team red and a team white. And whoever wins that scrimmage, like they're cheering, they're throwing their gloves up, they're hugging, and then the other team has to do drills. And it's just like there's such a good energy and
camaraderie
on the team. Like it's like Lalone came in and it was like such a seamless transition. It felt like, I mean, from the outside looking in, like,
right.
Go through a lot, but the guys respect him and they're just like having a good time. Like they're playing good hockey and having a good time. And that's not to say there are no bag skates where it's like, that was a tough loss. We really got to put the work in. Like obviously they're working their tails off, but they're enjoying themselves. Like that, I think, makes the world of a difference.
I think it translates onto the ice, right? That's why you're seeing more wins, those comebacks. To Connor's point, that 4-0 deficit comeback. I mean, that's huge. Like, that doesn't happen. Last year's team, I feel like wouldn't have done that. I think
it gets tough. Like when you're just like, it's like season after season, like things aren't going your way. Things aren't playing out the way you want them to play out. Like that weighs on you, and I get that, but it just feels like fresh. And again, we are only halfway into the season.
Yeah.
Things are still fresh and exciting, but it's really cool to see. Like everyone just gets along. Like it's such a family environment that they have. It's really great to see. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is really cool. I'm going to ask a different style of question because I feel like people want to know this too. But you talked about like the practice rink and I have a follow-up question on this as well. That's at LCA, right? Yep. Is it underneath? Like, where is it at? It's like directly. Is it directly? Yeah, I knew it was kind of in the basement. Like, is it basically directly below? It's like when I'm sitting in the stands.
I should know this. I don't know.
You probably don't need it
directly below. Like, I'm trying to think of like where I am.
I got a follow-up question after that, Connor.
But no, it's right under. I mean, it's right under the first floor. So like, it's the floor underneath.
Okay, so it's in the same building. Like they go there, it's underneath, kind of tucked away.
Like we use like the main locker room and stuff.
Okay, yeah. So the follow-up question on that was that not even a couple games. This is going back a while now. They didn't really even talk about it, but wasn't there a warm-up for a game in the practice rink? And I forget who that was for, but because there was either a retirement or a jersey retirement, I forget what even the event was. But then it
was the 25th anniversary of the Stanley Cup, the 97-98.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that was actually kind of fun. Like I went in there after the ceremony just to like, check who was out there. I don't know if there were like game time decisions. Something. I don't know. I walked in there and I was like, this feels so interesting. Like it's so it's a great facility, the Belfort Training Center. But I went in there and it's just so different than obviously them skating out on the main ice. But it was kind of cool. Like they had a DJ in there. Like,
really?
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of. That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, were they almost like a high school vibe? Like you got nobody really in the stands. You got the music going. You got the officials out there, and like, but you have NHL players.
Yeah, which around. Like you know, they love the fans. They love, you know, when the kids come and they're like candy for a puck or something. But it was a cool experience having it there. It was different. Yeah, for sure.
They do have like the banners up in there, if I'm correct, right? Little mini banners.
I think that's, my gosh, you guys, this is stuff I see like every day, and now I'm like, what do they say? Some of them I think are like Little Caesars.
Okay.
Banners.
And then my next question is, has LCA started doing their arena tours again yet? Because I've been trying to get a tour forever.
I didn't even know they were doing them.
Because I've done Tampa's tour. Tampa's pretty cool, doing the tour there. I've been to San Jose. Tampa's actually.
I don't know. I'll have to ask and let you know. But
yeah, please.
Yeah, they do like arena tours like through the concourse and the clubs and stuff like that. They're pretty cool. Yeah. I'll have to ask, but I don't know. But I'll have to check.
Yeah, because they nixed them during COVID, and so I've been bummed because I've wanted to check out that arena because I've never seen like, you know, the ins and outs of it since it's been built. I mean, I've walked around numerous times, been to a bunch of games, but it's not like I can walk into suites and be like, oh, hey, this is my suite.
Right. It's really cool too. Like LCA is obviously
the gondolas are dope,
stunning facility, but there's so many Easter eggs too, and in the arena.
Can you share it? Can you share it one?
I mean, things that like you guys may notice, but you may like walk past and be like, oh, you know, like the little like storm drain, the manholes. Oh, like how it's like former players and like stuff. I don't know, like little stuff like that.
I thought that is cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
like the Olympia letters that you see outside of Portal 10. Those, except for I think the O, there's like one letter that something happened to, but those are the original like Olympia Stadium letters. Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah.
That is cool.
Stuff like that's really cool. Like interesting to me. Like I like it's almost like a museum.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. There is that little cool thing up on the top floor with all the old jersey and the stick and stuff like that.
Shoot, what's that called? There's a name for it, but yeah.
Yeah, if everyone goes LCA, you need to check that out. There's a lot of cool things in LCA. That's why I was asking about the tour, just because, you know, I feel like someone with some good knowledge could, you know, point those things out that you normally wouldn't notice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something called Heritage Hall that's kind of upstairs. It's by, I think it's above the team store, now that I'm thinking about it. But it's literally like a little museum, like of Pistons stuff, Red Wings stuff. You have some Tigers, but like the Illich family stuff, like it's some really, really cool stuff up there. Interesting little facts and tidbits and memorabilia.
What is your favorite spot to be in the stadium during a game? Let me rephrase that. Have you ever been to a game and not been working it?
Yeah. So no.
Well, no.
I'm always working is where she was going for.
Like away games, like when I would travel with the team.
No, like a home game. So have you ever sat like?
Oh no.
No, never.
But yeah, like at the Joe, like before I started this job.
Well, see, but I'm talking about LCA because like there's some certain spots in LCA that have some really good views, and then other ones that are kind of like mediocre. So I was curious if you had any like. Because you usually are down in the bottom concourse when you're doing your in-game stuff.
She doesn't come up where, you know, I'm way up there. Like keep on going up, and that's
kind of like at the back, the top piece.
Like your pizza.
There are a few bucks.
Yeah, when you're throwing that, it's not getting up there.
We do send. So like I don't go up there because like I have
better things to do.
She's scared. She's scared of heights.
No, but it's steep up there.
Have you been up into the gondola?
Yeah, I like the gondola.
I love the gondola. That's my favorite spot to watch a game.
It makes me feel like this sounds so weird. Have you guys ever seen old clips? Obviously, you guys have like clips of like old hockey games. Well, for some reason, when I'm up in that gondola, like I feel like I'm watching an old hockey game. I can't explain it. Like it's so like it's a different like viewpoint that's so cool. Where I feel like I'm not like. so weird.
Like out of body, like
yes, it's like an out of body experience.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm like playing them as video game characters.
Yes. That's a better description than mine. But you get a different, like you get a bird's eye view of the games. Like when I watch the game, I sit like right on the board. Stand in the Zam pit or like
rough view down there.
You don't get to see.
Yeah, you don't get everything.
Play as much. You don't.
Yeah.
It's incredible. You know, it's so fun. I feel like I'm in the action, but I'm not seeing the structure of like the power play or
plays opening up or setting up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, without the puck. Yeah, there's definitely, I think there's pros and cons. I mean, it's super fun to be down there because I think for people that aren't hockey fans that go to a hockey game, it's just, first of all, it's fun. Second of all, you get a different experience whether you're high, but if you're low, you almost get more, you like understand the game a little bit more and you have a better appreciation of the talent that the guys have.
Yeah.
Like up in the top or even on TV, it's hard to see how like skilled they are. Where when you're on the glass, like they're moving so fast, they're doing things with the puck that you don't get to see. So there's pros and cons with everywhere, and even just being on TV with the replays and everything. So
like I like being, so obviously I'm in the corner where the Zam pit is, and I love seeing when the play is on like that end.
Yeah.
Like the stick work these guys have and passing. I'm like, oh my God.
Incredible.
Their hands just nonstop moving.
Talented. Like the other day, I can't remember which game it was, but like Joe Veleno came around the corner and he like his stick work, I mean, he was just like manhandling that puck. And I was like keeping it away from the defender. And I'm like, oh my God, like that was like, and he made a great pass. Unfortunately, like he set up a great play and it just didn't follow through. But I was like, he set it up. I was like, oh my God, that was a great play. Like how many of those are happening during the game that I don't see, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it's really cool when you see a play set up in front of you and you're like, wow, that was a great, like that was a great shot. That was a great save, or like just seeing it play out right in front of you. But yeah, like, you know, I'm in one corner of four.
Yeah. So Mickey and Ken get the best spot in the house up there in the gondola on their side.
I do. I mean, I like those gondola seats, but there's, you know, one side is media, one side is like you go buy those. Okay.
Because I've sat in the gondola side numerous times. Like,
okay.
But I'm just saying, Ken and Mickey get get the nice seats every night,
rightfully so. Yeah, rightfully so. But and then Mick goes down.
Yeah, he goes
does
down.
He? Oh, yep.
Yeah, I always see him after the game. Love Mick.
Yeah. He throws on the flannel for after the game.
Oh yeah, I was just talking to him last game, and he had a flannel on under his suit coat, and he was telling me he's now into like, instead of like the buttons, like the snaps.
Ooh.
Oh, our heart with the snap buttons. That's Mick's
classy look. Yeah. That's really. So does anything change? Like speaking of their day to day, because obviously there's changes, but when you have a TNT broadcast, what does that do? Does that factor into anything that you do, or is like, does it only change for some people?
Not so much for my role. No, like my job pretty much stays the same. Now, let's say like when Emily Kaplan was in town.
Yeah.
I was just gonna bring that up. Literally.
Yeah. So she obviously they do the post game interview too, and Trev does. You know, Trevor Thompson does for Bally's when we get a win. But we kind of have like, you know, we see each other every game. We kind of have our spots where we go, and we know like, all right, you're gonna get that guy. I'm gonna get like the third star. You're gonna get the first star. Like I don't know, just, you know, we have a way of like how we go about it. But when someone else is in town, like when Emily Kaplan was in town, who by the way is awesome. I love her. She got like, I think she got a stick to the cheek that game. No, yeah. Like,
really?
Yeah, it was shit. It was, I felt bad for her, but she's fantastic. She's so nice. But like, it's just like kind of like, okay, so ESPN or TNT, like they're gonna be over here, like you gotta go this way and you gotta watch out, like, you know, don't get in the back of their shot. Like it's just kind of like doing like that kind of stuff. That's the only thing I would say that really changes for we have national broadcasts come in, but outside of that, it doesn't really change much.
Oh, well, yeah, that's good. I think they need to get, I don't know what goes on during those national broadcast games, but the Red Wings, I don't know. I feel like they played okay sometimes, but there's been a couple games where I'm like, oh man, it'd be nice here on national TV. And they're getting a lot of talk, especially in the off season, because of all the guys that are exciting and new in the league. And everybody talks about like Red Wings are going to be very good. Like they're good. They're going to be very good for a hopefully a long period of time as the years go on. So it's, thank God. So I'm just like, oh man, it's a bummer because while people are playing well, it's always nice to show up when you have a national broadcast. But they'll get there.
Speaking of national broadcast, the Lions are playing Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, let's get a little bit of football talk before we wrap up. We're gonna get some predictions, and so go ahead, Dustin.
I was just gonna say the Lions during Sunday Night Football that I read are not very good record wise.
They're definitely not favored. That's They're the underdog going into this game.
Which is surprising because what was it? Weren't we playing against them recently and we were not the underdog?
Well, that was at home.
I know, but I'm just saying they were. It was just interesting.
So yeah, and it could be interesting to you, Dustin.
It always is.
No, I think for that game though, Green Bay was they were not playing very well. I think they've been playing pretty well recently, and for a win and get in without any outliers, I think they don't have to wait on anybody else. Like we can win if Seattle wins, and everybody knows that. So I can see how we're an underdog. I don't know what the spread is, if it's within 3 or if it's like 4.5. I don't know what it is, but I still would probably take the Lions on the spread. I don't know if they're going to win, but I feel like Dan Campbell can't not cover a spread. He's been getting the guys going. But I don't know. I think it's kind of nice that we'll see the end of Seattle before basically the game kicks off, so at least know one way or the other.
Yeah.
I could go either way. It's pros and cons there.
Let's see. The spread.
I mean, I'd like to see the Lions win, but then Seattle has to beat LA. Yeah.
Yep.
Is Stafford playing tonight or is Mayfield playing? I heard Stafford's back.
I think Mayfield's playing. I think Stafford was cleared to play. I don't think he. Well, either way,
there's no reason for him to play. That'd be just pointless. The Rams suck this year.
Yeah. Okay. So predictions just before Carly. Who do you got in the Lions?
I'm gonna see the Lions.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I hope it's wishful thinking, but
5.
You know what? Did you guys see the video they put out? I think
no.
Friday. Made me want to run through a wall. Like it was like so dope. It was such a good hype. I think they put it out Friday.
Yeah, I think I was scrolling through.
I think I watched it like 4 times in a row.
Dan Campbell just makes me want to run through a wall. Like every time I hear that dude talk, like he has such like
voice.
Yeah, well, not only that, like you can tell he cares so much. Like there's so much like
yeah,
on the verge of tears the entire time. Yeah, and I love it.
Okay,
same.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Okay, everybody check out the hype video.
Sanders commented on it. I just love this coach for our team.
Yeah, I do.
Barry Sanders, the goat gives you a stamp of approval.
Yeah, Barry Sanders and Connor love this coach for this team.
Wow.
So it really means something now.
Wow.
I know.
That means a lot.
It really does. People don't know that. Yeah, so I think I don't know I'm just planning for like the most Lions-esque thing to happen. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's them winning and Seattle winning, so then they don't get in. But then if Seattle wins, then LA still like we get the draft pick, so it's better for us, and maybe we're top 3 at that point. I don't know. But it's kind of a win-win-win with maybe one potential loss in there. So I really hope the Lions will win.
Hope the Lions win too. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him pull it out. We haven't.
I would just like to see them get it done, like because they're I always root for the underdog, but especially when it's your own team.
Yeah, and it's Aaron Rodgers.
Sweeter.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I would like to see the Lions overcome something like that, especially after the start that they had this season.
Yeah.
And turning it around like that.
I know. Yeah, Dan Campbell's gonna be like 19 venti coffees deep by 8:20 when kickoff.
Right there with him. 8:20. Like that's late. Like I'm tired. Like
I know.
This upcoming week, we got 3 home games. We got practice there's a lot going on this week, and I'm gonna be like this at halftime.
Yeah. Well, I have my beer league game at 8:00, so we're gonna have to wrap that thing up pretty quickly so I can get back. And
Connor, can we go ahead and finish that?
Let's go. Come on, guys. We got things to do.
Oh my gosh.
The Lions play tonight. Let's go ahead and finish this up.
Yeah, the Lions. Yeah,
you guys aren't postponing that game.
I know. Maybe depending on Seattle. Like if Seattle loses, then it's like really like win and get in.
Yeah.
Game. So then at that point, who knows if I'll go? I might come down with a cough by 8:20.
Scratch myself for this game. Thank you, fellas.
Yeah, I'm healthy myself for the first time in this game. I'm gonna just can't make it. It really hit my knee.
Oh my god.
So anyway, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't have anything else. If you're good, Dustin, but appreciate you coming on as always, Carly.
Yeah, appreciate you as usual. Thank you for jumping on halfway through the season. We'll have to catch you at the end of the season and get a recap.
Absolutely. I know. I can't believe we're halfway through the season already. I feel like the season just started.
I agree. That's the thing with hockey season. I feel like it takes so long to get to the beginning, and
the back half is when it gets rough. But
I know. Well, you know what the craziest thing is? I just read yesterday that it's like 32 days or 31 days until pitchers and catchers report. I feel like baseball, just like that is crazy. 30 days.
Baseball's ridiculous. The fact that they have like 180 games, that's just insane.
Well, it's crazy, but like pitchers and catchers,
blows my mind. Like, and I did a lot of Tigers games hosting this past couple summers, but I'm only getting like a sliver of their games, and I feel like there are a lot of games. Like, they're we have like a rotation of Daniela, Christy, and I. So there are 3 of us girls. It's home games only, but their home games are equivalent to a full hockey game.
Yeah, full
or full hockey season.
Hockey season, yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Baseball's wild.
It really is. It is wild. But anyway, baseball's right around the corner now. We figured that out. So couple weeks away, pitchers and catchers need to get down to Lakeland.
Wow, that's wild.
But,
we have the Red Sox. Tigers have the Red Sox for opening day. So
is that who it is? In Detroit is their opening day, or is that in Boston? Like our opening?
Detroit. Because we just had recently, I think they started selling tickets. They had like a day. It was like Black Friday, where they were like opening it up to.
You guys should do I liked last year when you guys did the opening day for both the Red Wings and the Tigers, because I forgot I had a Tigers ticket, and all of a sudden I got an email like, "Oh, you have a Tigers ticket." Yeah, opening day.
You guys should join Winged Wheel Nation. My boss gonna let me. Winged Wheel Nation. You guys should become season ticket holders. Why don't you guys like split a season?
Demery and I have talked about that.
So like same for me and my buddies. Yeah,
we want to.
Once you get over this way, Connor, it'll be easier.
Yeah, for
sure. Are you moving?
Yeah, we want to go. Yeah, I'll talk to you offline here.
All right. Well,
where you live? What's your address?
Right. All right. Thank you, Carly, Connor.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck out of here. See you guys.
Always a pleasure.